Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's right. It's Mike's Daily Podcast. Mike Matthews, here it is, the show that is Mike Matthews Podcast. And we're dancing around in this world that won't last because it's finite. Good night. This is episode 2348. All right. That's the end of my song for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Mike's Daily Podcast. And if you would like to chime in about anything, there is a phone number. Mike's. And here it is. Daily 1 Podcast 3. Yeah. 6 Daily. There you go. That's right. 3 plus 3 equals 6. As in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast tries to be. Gets interrupted. I got interrupted yesterday. I was gonna do one, and I got home, and I just, you get home on a Friday night after work, after a busy week, and that is the last thing you want to do is do a podcast. Although, all of a sudden, at 11 o'clock at night, I was just about to do it, and I'm like, no, I can't, because I have obligations. I have a lady friend, a lovely lady friend, and I need to spend time with her, because during the week, I'm busy, and I can't spend time with her. But you know what? You should spend time with your friend. What? You don't have a friend? I have some ideas on how to make a friend. Yes! And I'm getting it from greatest.com. That's great, and then an ist, and then a dot, and then a com. Their first suggestion has me slightly confused. It says, go on a friend date. A friend date? What's that?
And here's today's podcast picture.
Is this a friend that's not going to go anywhere else, just a friend? This is going to be a platonic thing. This is going to only be a friend. This person is friend zoned from the beginning, and you both understand that. The podcast picture, by the way, is from the lovely town of Niles near Fremont. That's right. Basil and I went to Fremont. Went to Niles a couple of times, didn't we, Basil the Boxer? The late, great Basil the Boxer. Yes, we did several times walk around there, and there is a beautiful big tree that they light every year. And there's the cool little Christmas ornament type thing next to it. So see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. Every podcast I've ever done has had a podcast. But today, we are here in Podcaster Valley Ton, the last place on earth. Cafe anyway. And let's say, most of us at least have heard of the blind date, the idea of letting friend play matchmaker and set us up with someone we've never met. If you've just moved to a new city, you can have a friend set you up on a totally platonic date with one of their friends who lives nearby. You'll have less to lose if the potential match doesn't work out. And then there's also something called Bumble BFF. Okay, that's interesting. Although I'm not fond of anything having to do with meeting people online, which is very counterproductive in a world where you can meet so many people online. Through this podcast, I have met you. You are listening to me. We have met. Though not really. Though, I guess if you called the number I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we can sort of, in a way, meet. But, yes, I watch some of these YouTube personalities, and they do their live chats because they got over, I think you can only do a live chat if you have over 1,000 followers and subscribers, whatever they call them. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications. I am so sick of that. You know what? If you tell me to do that, I will not do that. That's telling me, is daring me to say no to you, to be utterly contrarian, to say niet. I will not click on your little bell. Ring my bell. No. So, to sum up, friends, it's time to get super clear on what you love to do. Be authentic. When you pursue hobbies and activities you enjoy, you have a good chance of meeting people with similar interests. Check out that local lecture on modern literature. Or sign up for a sushi making class. Perhaps you like to join an anti-activist club. I'm sorry, I meant to stick a word in between the anti and the activist. An anti-vax activist club. We are against vaccines and anything that can help us in any possible way. Because the media wants to control us. I'm really scared of needles. You can also volunteer your time and talent with a nonprofit that resonates with you, or download Meetup. Oh yeah, I did that. Did I ever do one? No. In fact, so I had this part-time job where I didn't have any human interaction at all. I was basically there sort of as almost a security guard, and I'd get pretty bored. And so I would go on Meetup and sign up for all these clubs that I never went to, which I guess goes back to my earlier point of how I'm suspicious of anything internet related where you meet people. But it may work for you. I would love to hear your stories. 336MM Daily. And if you can't find the group you want, why not start one? A little vulnerability could lead to lifelong connections. However, I don't know. I mean, Meetup goes bad once in a while, doesn't it? I mean, you start a Meetup and then, like, bad people show up? People you don't want to meet? Maybe. That's just a thing that might happen. Creating a close connection takes time. 200 hours, in fact. This according to a 2018 study. When you're just starting to get to know someone, foster intimacy by talking about something deeper than the sucky weather. That's what it says here. Sucky weather. But enough about that kind of weather. Who needs that? So you are going to need gradually disclose something meaningful about yourself and see if your new friend will do the same. If you need fodder, each of you could answer this question. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, I would love to be able to sing like Steve Perry circa 1986. What? You don't want to have Steve Perry's voice from 1976? I liked it when it was a little bit deeper. I would sing all the time, and everyone would be so happy, and life would be good. But I've been thinking lately, I've been having a lot of flashbacks. And one popped into my head, just the most random flashback. Lately, I've been thinking there was a guy that worked for us when I lived in Ventura. He was our traffic guy. He took care of all the traffic reports. Mr. Traffic. That wasn't his name, but pretty much that's what he was. And he got married to a woman with bleached blonde hair, big hair. She seemed to be like kind of like a Melania Trump type, but with blonde hair, if you can imagine. And the two of them got married after dating for about 2 months. I think they were married 2 months. Got divorced. I never knew the story. I never knew what happened, why. But one day, I'm in a radio station. You've got a lot of little studios here and there. Got the studio for the station that's actually on the air, and then you've got like a little production studio off to the side. I go into the production studio. Oh, you know what? I might have even shared a cubicle with him That's right. I think we did. And he left a piece of paper in the cubicle that said on the piece of paper, all that I got from my 2 months of marriage, I got to keep my car. And that's basically all it said. And I think he ranted a little bit about the ex-wife. But I'm like, why would you write this down? It's almost as if he wanted to tell somebody that. Maybe he was telling me that. Maybe he wanted to be my friend. But it was the oddest thing. I just found it there. I mean, anybody could have seen it. It was just laying there on the desk, and anybody had access to the cubicle. In fact, one time, in radio, we often use headphones. Although podcasters today don't really use headphones much anymore because they don't really need to hear what's happening as they're recording. They just record it, whatever. They don't care what it sounds like. So that's why podcasters, for the most part, stink. And I don't understand how something like Dungeons and Daddies becomes so popular. Is that what we're all about now? Ay, ay, ay. So what happened was I had my headphones stuck in the cabinet of my cubicle, and one day somebody went in, took my headphones, and bashed them on the desk, totally mangled them, and put them back. To this day, I do not know who it is. It could have been, I narrowed it down to 2 people. One of the guys died. So Oh gosh, I'm getting a call. I'll be right back. Not that I don't enjoy getting calls. You can always call me at 336MM Daily. Just that I was in a space here, and I got distracted, and thus I don't know where I was. 336-663-2459. Oh, we're including smiling on this list. It's a way more powerful tactic for making connections than you might believe, says greatest.com. For one thing, smiling takes you out of your own head and makes you think more about the image you're projecting. Plus, a 2015 study found that when creating new relationships, people are more responsive to positive emotions than to emotions like anger and sadness. That is, you're more likely to connect with someone when you share a smiley moment than a grumpy one. Here's an idea about finding friends. Don't take it personally. We pretty much know what it means when a romantic partner tells us, it's not you, it's me. But if you invite a new pal to coffee or a movie and they turn you down, don't take it personally. Maybe they really are busy with work. Maybe their family relationship really takes up too much time. Consider that it really isn't you after all. You can take a rain check and try it again in the future. Think outside the box. It's possible that up until now, all your friends have been 20-something women who work in fashion, but why limit yourself? Variety is the spice to life and all that. You could just as easily hit it off with someone 20 years older than you who works in finance. Be open to forming new relationships with coworkers, neighbors, classmates, no matter how different from you they appear to be. You can learn so much from people that are completely the opposite of you. And just so rewarding. So there you go. Greatist.com. I thought I would talk about that because I think we need friendships. We need relationships. We need a lot of relationships, friendships. It helps us stop being so narrow-minded. Helps us hear new views and perspectives. And really, it enriches our lives. It enriches our lives and helps us speak the better talking words thing. Spoke to my mom, and she's doing a little bit better. Thank you for your kind thoughts and prayers. We're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Look who's here. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Oh my gosh, I'm such a good friend to you, Mike Matthews. Yes, you are a good friend. You've been with me through the hard times. And you've always been kind to me and given me a snow globe. No, Mike Matthews, I've never given you a snow globe. Oh. I thought you said snow globe, the word snow globe differently than that. Mike Matthews, I don't say snow globe like snow globe anymore, Mike Matthews. Good. Because I don't know what that was, that thing. Retainers, Mike Matthews. That's right, retainers. They help you with your teeth. By the way, they've got these cool snow globes now. You know, before snow globes, you had to shake it up, like the Taylor Swift or the Cars song or the Beatles song or whatever other song you like that says shake it up. Oh, Eddie Money. There you go. A lot of songs have the word shake in it. So, shake it like a Polaroid picture. There you go. Outcast. So, these new snow globes have like some kind of thing that keeps the water moving, and it pushes up the glitter, and then they have a light inside the snow globe, and it's all sparkly in there. It's very magical. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. Yes, excellent suggestions on how to find friends. I really agree that doing something that you enjoy doing helps you find friends. For example, I've made friends in radio because I enjoy radio, and people that are in radio I can relate to. Then, you know, you go to high school friends, that the friends you made in high school, you were all working towards a common goal of graduating high school, so you had a common interest there. And then there was the friend that I made when I was walking Basil the Boxer, and he was walking his dog, and we struck up a conversation, and Mr. Jones and me gonna be big stars like the Counting Crows. So there you go. Things to think about. Go out and make a friend today. Really, it'll help the world. I think overall, if we were all friends, why can't we be friends? This world would be a better place. If we were all friends, we wouldn't be enemies. That's the one thing I agreed with Trump with, even though I didn't quite understand what he was saying. But when he said the thing about Putin, I think it's better to get along with Putin than to not get along. But, you know, was there other stuff going on? Who knows? But I think the general idea of trying to get along with everyone, but then you got to be strong. But then, you know what? We're not all presidents. So I think overall we should be friends is my point. Wherever I went with that tangent, I came back to here. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, thank you for listening. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Chime in about anything that we covered today. 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast has been or will try to be. And therefore, if you didn't catch any of that stuff I just said, henceforth, ergo, you can listen to A-Frame now with other ways to contact us here at Cafe Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh my gosh, speaking of tomorrow and every Sunday, you can listen to my live radio show from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. There is a link at my website. You can just click on it and listen to the radio show playing some fun, upbeat music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Just go to mikesdailypodcast.com.